In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a printable token board using Google Slides. The first thing you'll want to do is open a new Google Slide deck. Once you have your slides open, we're going to go up to File and then down to Page Setup. Then we're going to choose Custom as an option, and we're going to change our screen size to 8.5 by 11 to make this easy to print. Now my slide is designed so it can be printed on a standard sheet of paper. The next thing we want to do is get rid of anything we don't want on our screen, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these text boxes for now. And then I'm going to insert a shape for my token board. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go to Shapes, and I want a rectangle, so I chose rectangle, and now I am drawing my token board. You'll see the shape automatically filled in. I can use my fill color and change the color if I have a student who likes different color, or I think gray is too bland for whatever reason. So I'll go ahead and change my token board to this bright blue. Then I need to add a space for my tokens. So I'm going to go ahead back to Shapes, and then I'm going to pick a square again. And I'm going to draw my shapes down here first. I'm going to change the color of this to a simple white. And then I'm going to change the border to make it a little bit thicker so it sticks out a bit more. And I'll put this on my token board just to see how it looks. If I'm happy with the size and everything, what I can do next is click on my shape, and I'm hitting Control D on my keyboard to duplicate it. You can make as many squares as you'd like for however many tokens your student is working towards. So just hit that keyboard shortcut of Control D to make more squares. And now that they're on there, I want to make sure they're lined up. So what I'll do here, I'm actually going to move this down for a second. I'm highlighting my squares, and I'm right-clicking, and I'm going to align vertically just to make sure they're lined up in a nice line here. That looks pretty good, and I'm happy with it. So now that I have my squares, I want to make tokens that are the same size. So I'm going to Control D again to duplicate. And then I can change my border to a dash border so it looks like something that we'd cut out. Now I can duplicate this again, Control D. You can also, if you don't do the keyboard shortcut, you can right-click on it and copy and paste or duplicate that way as well. So I want to get my tokens all lined up so they're nice and pretty, easy to print. I can put however many I want on here. Got a little more space, so I'm going to add an extra one. So our students, tokens get lost. It's always nice to have a couple extras. So once I've got my things lined up, again, I'm going to highlight these boxes. I'm going to right-click to align them vertically to make sure they're all in a row. And then if I want to make sure they're spaced evenly, I can click Distribute and then do horizontally, and that will just sort of make sure the space between them is even so that it looks nice and neat. Now that I have my space nice and neat, I'm going to take that whole row and duplicate that so I can make more tokens. And then I can add pictures into these boxes. So I've got my blank spaces up here. I can put pictures into these boxes, and there's a few different ways to do this. If I wanted to find images from the web, I could use Google Image, and I can go up to Insert, and then go to Image and search the web. So let's say my student really likes Bluey. I'm going to search for Bluey, and then I'm going to find something in this web search that I'm happy with. I can resize it so that it fits in my tokens. You can also, if it's a little too wide, you could double click on it and then crop to make it a bit more narrow without messing up the aspect ratio. And then just place it right into my token here. can see if it's a little too wide. I can always make it narrow again and put it in that way. You can duplicate your tokens before or after you put the pictures in, depending on what you'd like to do. And if you want this to be able to move as a single thing, it's a single object, if you just kind of draw a box over it and right click, you can group it together. So now this token is one button. It's not going to have the image separate out from it. So what I'm actually going to do is delete these other tokens and duplicate my button with Bluey because I like him and want to have lots of tokens of him. So we'll do Control D and make lots of little Bluey tokens. Then I'm going to go through and align those and distribute them as well. Now that I have all of my tokens, I'm going to go ahead and add in a space for the reinforcer that my student is working for. So again, I'll go up to my shapes box. I'll pick a shape, so we'll make another square here, and I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger. So I've got a space here to put my reinforcer. I can line it up however I'd like here. And then I'm going to add a text box. So we'll go to Insert, Text Box, this in here, and type, I am working for. You can change your fonts. I tend to try to go a little bit bigger on the font. You can make it bold if you'd like. Just make sure it's something clear and easy to read so that your students and your staff know what it says. Then I'm going to take this spot that I've got for reinforcers. I'm going to make a duplicate, so I hit Control D on the keyboard again. I'm going to drag this down here, and I'm going to duplicate it a couple more times. Space them out a little bit. Might not have room for 4, so I'll delete one. And then again, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to align them so they line up pretty. And then right click and distribute so that they're evenly spaced. I can also change the borders on these. So again, I sort of draw a box to highlight. I go up to my borders. I can make it so they're dashed lines, so I know that's something I'm supposed to cut out. I can make the border thicker to make it easier to cut. And then I'm just going to drag in pictures of things that my student might want to be working for. So my student really likes computer time. So in my image search here, I'm typing in computer. I can find a picture that might look something like what they have. So we use laptops, so I'm going to pull this picture in. I can crop my image, right click, and then crop. And then I can resize it, dragging it this way to make sure it's going to fit my box here. And now I've got a computer reinforcer that I can put up here. If you have the Read and Write Chrome extension, that can be another great way to get pictures to add to your token board. So I'm going to close my Google image search here and open my Read and Write extension. And I'm going to open the picture dictionary in my Read and Write extension. So something else my student might want to work for would be going for a walk. So I'm going to just type the word walk into one of the boxes here and highlight it. And now you'll see line drawing pictures for that word show up in the picture dictionary. The neat thing with Read and Write is you can actually just pull these pictures straight into your Google Slides or Google document. So I can pull that line drawing into my box here and then resize it. And I have a picture representing walk. I could do the same thing. Let's say our student was working for, they like to play with a ball. You type in the word ball. You should get a couple different line drawings, and then I can pull my ball down here, delete the word so it's not in the way, and pull the picture right into the box. And now we have a token board with our cute little Bluey tokens and 3 different reinforcers. If you need additional space to make more reinforcers or for more tokens, you can either make a new slide and copy and paste these, or you can duplicate the slide and then just get rid of anything you don't need. So if I didn't, control, undo that, I can highlight anything I don't want and delete it, and then just print out my extra tokens and copy these buttons to make sure that I have enough different spots for reinforcers. And then it's already sized out to be printer page, and you're good to go. Just print what you need. You can always go back and edit this. You can make different slides for your different students if you have multiple students using token boards, and you're all set. So that's how you can make a token board for your students using Google Slides.